To be able to get customers onto our client's list, we need to create a web form, and this web form is going to be used by your client to add their customer's mobile phone number, and then our system will then follow up with the customer and ask them to post a review onto Google or Yelp or one of the other review sites that you choose, and also at a later date ask them to share your client's business details on their Facebook wall, which again will help generate new traffic for your client. So you can use the autoresponders to send out these follow-up messages. Now, to create a form, first of all we need to go over to the Tools section and click on Web Sign-up Form. And as you can see, we've got some details here to fill in. Now, I've already got one open, so I'm going to go to that page there. I've already added the details in just to save a bit of time. So we need to assign this to a group. Now, you'll notice that I've got a group called Demo and I've got a group called Web Demo. Now, the reason I'm having two separate groups for the same client, so if Demo was my client, for example, is that anybody could fill in a web form and add a mobile phone number to this web form. Now, the last thing we want to do is be accused of spam. So what I personally do, I set it up like an email double opt-in. So what I do is I have a separate group for the web form and then I have a main group for the client. So what happens is when someone or when your client fills in their customer's details onto this form, I ask them to reply with the main group keyword to confirm they want to subscribe to that list. So let's go through the form first of all, and then I'll show you what I actually put in the message to get them to reply with that double opt-in. So first of all, we create or we add this to a group, so I call this Web Demo. You can set the background color of the web form. Again, I leave it to white. I personally don't add a URL to a logo or upload a logo. I want this page to load as fast as possible, so I try and keep it clutter free. So I don't personally bother adding in a logo. Leave the font types, you can change them if you want, change the size of the font color I normally leave as black. Now let's get down to the important thing, which is the sign up widget message. This is the message that's going to go out to the customer once they've subscribed or once your client has added their phone number via this web form. So what I do is to do the double opt-in. So for example, using the Joe's Pizzas restaurant again, I put in something like, thank you for booking your table at Joe's Pizzas. To confirm your booking, you should be booking, reply with the word Joe's. Now Joe's is my main group. So if we go back to the manage groups, this is the group I'm using. So I'm using Joe's Pizzas and the word Joe. I'm using that as the group to send out the follow-up messages. So reply with the word Joe, not Joe's, and this will then go out to the customer. So once the customer receives the SMS message with this text in it, content, they will read the content and then reply with the word Joe, which will then add them to the main Joe's list. As you can see there, that is the keyword that adds people onto that list. And once they're on that list, then we can use the autoresponders to follow up with this list to ask them to post a review and also share your client's details on Facebook. So once we've done that, we can preview the widget. If you click on that button there, as you can see there, it's a fairly simple web form that you embed into a web page for each of your clients. And once your client starts using this, then people will be then added to this particular list, and they can then double opt in to be added to the main list. Now this is really up to you whether you want to use the double opt-in system, but this is what I do personally, and I find that I haven't had any complaints whatsoever from any customers because they've always confirmed they want to receive the information. So if you're using an embed widget, you click on that there, and you can change the size, the width and height of the iframe that shows the widget on the page you are going to create for your clients. You can change the size. I'll just close that up. If you're using a pop-up widget, then you can change the image. This is the image that your client would click on to add their customers' details. But personally, I normally use the embed widget and create a page for my clients. So if I click on create widget, and then I can now copy the embed code and embed this into a web page, putting details above the web form, explain exactly what your client needs to do to add their customers to their list. Now, if I go back to preview widget and just open it up slightly, one thing I do want to point out, you must point out to your clients, you must point out that they need to add the country code into the number. So for example, if it was a United States telephone number, the country code would be 1. If it was a UK number, the country code would be 44. And as you can see there, if I click on that, just for our UK members, all mobile phone numbers in the UK start with a 0. So this will be 07828, etc. Then you always remove the 0 and add the 44. So it's 44, remove the 0, and then add the mobile phone number. For the United States, it will be 1 followed by the actual cell phone number in the United States. So that's how to create the web form. And once you've copied that and embedded that into your web page for your client, they are then all set to go to start adding people to their list to get more and more reviews and more shares on Facebook.